So this one is called Take a Blank Page. Take a blank page, draw a line, place a dream upon it, grow the vine. Use the best locks, as the doubters will come. Sure as tick follows tock, their lifeblood is seeing you undone. Know the soil, much is buried. Water it well, so future beauty is swiftly ferried. Know the rain, the curtain between seasons. Earth medicine for all reasons. Tears of joy or pain, surrounding laughs or lesions. Know the wind, those sharing your positive pulse. Breathing magic into baby steps, building bridges across the gulf. Savor that full page, a universe drawn through your fingertips. Trust, dance, so free. You got out of the way. Forever spoke the loudest today. Take a blank page. It came out of, being in the music department, City University, and probably that time seeing a sign on a notice board about a Tuesday night jazz big band. Like, okay, so finally I get to start to play with with people and kind of start to develop a sense of myself in terms of improvising, just a very small way. But firstly, it's just the community of being in a group, scenario. And in the course of that, met a gentleman by the name of Mervyn Samuels. Hi Mervyn, I'm not sure where they are now. Got talking. Saxophonist, beautiful sound, similar interests. Then I'm like, wait a minute, you you live not that far from me, and you're in a band. Okay, this is interesting.
And so in terms of all these claves and rhythmic patterns, would you say that you got this influence from the M-bass thing, from Steve Coleman's thing, or is it beyond that, or is it go?
It's part, for sure. There's definitely Latin music, there's definitely Caribbean, the calypso going further back. There's a kind of dance around the pulse attraction. So it's there, but it's implied. It's there, but it's united every so often in places you wouldn't expect that at first trips you up, but later you come to realize is the pleasure in the unresolved, because it keeps you moving keeps you addicted, keeps you wanting the next thing, keeps you wanting it to never end. Like any good groove, right? There's a hypnotic quality about it that can put people into trances, whether we think of it like that or not, whether they are small for a 3-minute 30 single in the charts, if that means anything anymore, through to what they say. This great writer, Ted Goyer, Richard Shining, there's a few online I love to tune into, writing about this type of thing worldwide. So there seems to be in a lot of cultures, when you get past the 7-minute mark, which is kind of interesting with a lot of great, live jazz. When you get past that, the spirit opens up into a place that's starts to become more timeless. Let alone you go further on into, the overnight, multiple hour trance drumming celebrations, weddings, funerals in different cultures around the world that have an expansive sense of time, over days. So this is all, a lot of this is inspired by consciously and subconsciously. As I look back, a lot of things at the time, you're just in the middle of it, doing it, expressing what comes out. But as you trace back through everything that has kind of come into your life, you're kind of, oh, okay, yes, there's a bit of this, there's that thing, maybe this thing kind of was buried in here for a long time before, coming out later in this form. Structure that felt like it would fall apart if anyone took an intense solo to do this, to play, and then I was I was told I was in and played some amazing music gigs for, I might have been another year before then meeting Jason Yard, who came in after Mervyn, who, along with Cynthia, his wife, were both in this group, and they had to leave as starting a family. And Jason came in. I heard bits of Jason before joining. Sounded amazing even then, and played and got talking, and that led to the link with Gary Crosby and the Tomorrow's Warriors, and going down to jam sessions and joining more of the dots that take you from listening and loving Oscar Peterson on radio to being sat in a room with other contemporaries of yours, really learning this music with a group environment.
Are you one of the first Tomorrow's Warriors?
I call myself second generation because there was the New Troop, what became New Troop. You see, there were jam sessions, and out of that came groups that would go on, to explore in the longer term. It's a system at first, and eventually, people find that they, as has continued on, the Ezra Collective, different, generations expressing the invisible, different generations expressing their ability, to kind of come together and really form core groups around, particular, ideas of personalities of people.
It's interesting because this is one thing that I want this audience to know is this lineage between yourself
needs to be done.
And Ezra Collective and the folks who we know about today.
Oh yeah. It's decades of, and in a part I haven't said much about, of course, is the environment of from a distance, hearing and seeing the UK, world-class musicians coming up at a time in jazz in the mid to later 80s where they could be seen more in the mainstream. So absolutely, Courtney Pine, Cleveland Watkis, Jason Rebello, Tommy Smith, remember, absolutely, Steve Williamson, Winston Clifford, many of the Jazz Warriors being on television was a huge deal. This was a parallel in a way. Once I'd been exploring around Oscar Peterson, I mean, obviously the natural thing is to kind of go, people play this music here, right? So what is happening? And so to see the whole community of people looking like me with the same heritage doing this stuff and being, I mean, at one point I remember a whole spread that they did in Sunday Times, I think it was, with, I mean, we're talking full page photos of this happening from several musicians in jazz who are really, apart from film stars these days, TV stars, theatre stars would get a full page photo in a hugely read publication at the weekends. And of course, as I said, this is before the internet. This is one of the few ways you could really get a sense of, movements, creative movements, kind of taking off and being profiled in the press, which even then, yep, paparazzi, so on and so forth, had quite a brutal reputation. So getting to see anyone doing well like this, with a black skin basically in this country was a huge, very important inspiration for you to keep your head down, keep going, work hard, because like my teachers, in terms of classical, were not from that heritage, and I've been given many examples of certain types of excellence, and seeing this sort of circle being completed literally, outside of my father's example, by other contemporaries, with that heritage, was a very important, and it still resonates to now. Keep your soul intact. Feed the fire, in fact. Don't just dream, but act. Finish what you start, made into an entire pact. Meet the wall with glee. Be the change, leap and see. Take each brick individually. Welcome the barrier, so the sooner you're free. Poison pen, keyboard troll, Insta blackmail, matters not who, matters not when. Easy to judge, using a sideline grudge. It's just a force field smudge when your spirit's bathed in constant hugs. Follow through, emerge anew, seize the truth, meta interview, call fear out, let it shout, walk the walk and incinerate your doubt. Keep your soul intact, blaze a trail of tact, make peace with what you lack, write your highest self, the supreme contract.